Hi, my name is David Gianpietro with the Siemon Company Technical Services, and today I'll be showing you some of the features and functions of our inline connector. Let's take a closer look. This product is offered in several different variations with or without a single-ended factory terminated cord. The connector itself is simply a back-to-back termination. Both sides terminate using a lacing cap. White cap on one side with T568A or B wiring options, and a gray cap with a mirror image color coding for the opposite side. An optional black mounting clip is also provided that easily latches onto the base of the connector. This clip has provisions for various zip tie positions or screw mounting options. Verify that all packaged parts and required tools are available. Pliers or channel locks may be required in some cases when terminating larger gauge cables. Flush cutters are essential to prevent short circuits, and a small flat screwdriver for re-terminations if necessary. Prepare the cable by stripping at least 2 inches or 50 millimeters of cable jacket. Isolate and carefully remove any ripcord or pair separators if present. Choose either termination cap. These caps can be interchanged as long as you're using one white cap and one gray cap. Pre-terminate versions will only have the white cap to choose, as the gray cap is already terminated to the factory pigtail. The termination cap has an open side for 2 pairs and a closed access hole to thread in the other 2 pairs. Colors provided are for universal T568A or B wire mapping. For example, the T568B wiring follow the color mapping corresponding to the letter B. So in this case, the brown and the green pair will need to be threaded into the enclosed opening of the cap, and the remaining 2 pairs simply fall into the open slot of the cap. Blue on this side, orange on the opposite side for B wiring, followed by brown to this quadrant, and finally green to the remaining side. Now we are ready to lace into the individual conductor slots, being sure that the white side of the pair versus the solid color is positioned properly. If you're terminating both the white and the gray caps, you'll notice the color mapping are mirror images of each other, so be careful not to confuse the 2 sides. You can save yourself some time by positioning and anchoring the conductors on the inner post, then unwinding the pair just enough to press over the post with 2 fingers. Don't get confused with wire mapping. In some cases, both sides of this connector may not have matching wire schemes. The mapping only needs to match the opposite end of the cable or cord. For example, since most patch cords are wired T568B from the factory, the term cap used for the pigtail patch cord will need B wiring to match the plug side. And if your overall project happens to be using the T568A wire mapping, the term cap connecting your patch panel side will be A-wired. In other words, choose the wire scheme that matches the scheme used on the connector at the opposite end of the cable being terminated. Once laced, be sure all conductors are in the correct positions and trim with the flush or diagonal cutter. Electrician snips are not recommended, as they can leave the tips of the conductors sticking out too far and potentially cause a short circuit against the metal door when terminating. You'll notice there are multiple arrows molded inside the connector, one molded into the die-cast cover and 2 others molded into the white portion of the base of the connector. all three arrows are pointing in the same direction. The back of the lacing module also has an arrow in the reset portion, so it's just a matter of positioning the term cap such that its arrow is pointing in the same direction. Ensure all conductors are seated properly and prepare to insert into either side of the inline connector. Now it's just a matter of closing the cover to terminate. And depending on the cable type being used and the strength of your fingers, you may be able to do this without a tool. Otherwise, any type of pliers or channel locks may be helpful. Just make sure both latches have engaged. Next step is to secure the cable with the provided tie wrap and trim. Then simply repeat the procedure for the other side, but be sure to use the opposite colored term cap as they are mirror images of each other, and don't forget to match your wire scheme to the wire scheme used at the other end of the cable being terminated, not the scheme on the other side of the connector, as this may not necessarily be the same. If you purchased the factory terminated half meter version, one side is pre-terminated like this one. This is factory terminated using the gray term cap, so you'll only get the white term cap in the kit for termination of the horizontal cable to the other side. Now if you are working with shielded cable, whether it's fully shielded with a braided screen layer or a typical FUTP construction such as this one, the only difference is to prep the foil screen properly by simply inverting on top of the jacket. Be careful not to cut too deep as you do not want to nick the foil at all, otherwise it will tear when inverting to get the conductive side facing out on top of the jacket. The drain wire can be wrapped around the foil for best ground path transfer impedance. The mylar layer can be removed as well as the center pair isolator. And from this point on, it will be the same process as the UTP cable type. Again, be sure to use the opposite colored term cap that will have the mirror image color mapping, and choose the wire scheme matching the scheme used at the far end of the cable segment being terminated. Thread in the two pairs that match the chosen wire scheme. Once laced, trimmed, and terminated, be sure not to forget the zip tie, as this is what ensures the ground path is transferred through the shield layer being in contact with the flange of the connector. Be sure the zip tie captures the drain wire that can also be wrapped around the flange of the connector. A secure mount can be accomplished, as mentioned, with a black mounting clip using separate tie wraps or the provided wood screws. The cover can be pried open with a small flat screwdriver for inspection or re-terminations.